Hi, welcome to another video. So, T3 Code just shipped a new update on the nightly build, and the big thing this time is a completely new left sidebar. They're calling it Sidebar V2, and it basically changes how all your threads and projects are organized in the app. If you've used T3 Code before, you'll know that the old sidebar grouped everything by project. So you'd have your project name, then all the threads nested under it, then the next project, then its threads, and so on. It looks fine at first, but once you have a bunch of projects and a ton of old threads, it becomes this long cluttered tree where everything is expanded all the time, and the stuff you're actually working on is buried somewhere in the middle. I mean, it works, but it's not great. The new sidebar takes a completely different approach. Instead of grouping by project, it's now one flat list of threads in creation order. The threads you're actively working on render as these rich cards at the top, and everything that's done gets collapsed into a section called settled, where each thread is just a compact little row. So your active work is big and visible, and your finished work is out of the way. This is pretty amazing, to be honest. Now, let me show you how to enable it, because it's not on by default. It's a beta feature, so you just go to Settings and then head over to the beta section. In there, you'll see a toggle called Sidebar V2. Just turn it on and go back, and the sidebar instantly switches over to the new layout, no restart needed or anything. And if you don't like it, you can switch back anytime from the same place. One thing to note is that the settling stuff requires an up-to-date server, so on older servers, the threads will just stay active. Once you enable it, you'll also see two more options appear under it. There's an auto-settle option, which automatically settles any thread that's had no activity for a certain number of days. By default, it's set to 3 days, but you can change that number to whatever you want. And threads on merged or closed PRs always settle on their own, which makes sense because that work is done anyway. If any new activity happens on a settled thread, it unsettles automatically and pops back up as a card. So the sidebar basically cleans up after itself. I like this a lot. Now, let's actually use it a bit. At the top of my sidebar right now, I have one active thread as a rich card. The card shows the project name, how old the thread is, the thread title, and a little activity indicator. Below that, there's the settled section with all my old threads as compact rows. If I hover over the active card, I get two quick actions right on it. There's a settle button and a little clock icon. So let's say I'm done with this thread. I just hit settle, and the card collapses down into a compact row in the settled section. The sidebar instantly looks cleaner, and if I want it back, I just hover over that settled row, and there's an unsettle arrow on the right side. One click, and it's back at the top as a full card again. Really smooth. The clock icon is for snoozing. If I click it, I get options like snooze for 1 hour, tomorrow at 9, or next week on Monday at 9. So if there's a thread you don't want to deal with right now, but you also don't want to mark as done, you can just snooze it and it'll come back later. That's super cool as well. You also get a right-click menu on any thread, and there's quite a bit in there. You can start a new thread on main, unsettle a thread, snooze it, rename it, mark it as unread, or delete it entirely. The settled section itself is also collapsible. If I click the little chevron on it, the whole thing collapses into a single line that just says settled with a count next to it. And when it's expanded, it doesn't dump every old thread on you either. It shows the recent ones and then gives you a show more button at the bottom that tells you how many are still hidden. So the clutter problem from the old sidebar is basically gone. Now, you might be wondering if it's one flat list. What happens when you have threads from a bunch of different projects mixed together? Well, at the top of the sidebar, there's a project filter. It says all projects by default, but if I click it, I get a drop-down with all my projects, and I can just pick one to filter the whole list down to only that project's threads. Selecting one filters everything instantly, and there's also a button right next to it to add a new project. There's also a search at the top, which you can open by pressing Command K. It's not just thread search either. It searches across commands, projects, and threads all in one palette. If I type something like plan, it instantly finds my plan freelance invoicing dashboard thread, and it even shows which project and branch it belongs to. Then you just hit enter, and you're there. And one more thing. If you click the compose button to start a new thread, it opens a little project picker where every project gets a keyboard shortcut, like Command 1, Command 2, and so on. So, starting a new thread in a specific project is literally 2 keystrokes. Chef's kiss. Overall, I think this is a really good change. The old project grouped sidebar made sense when you had 1 or 2 projects, but this new inbox style approach, where active work floats to the top as cards and finished work settles down into a compact list, just fits how agentic coding actually works. You fire off a bunch of threads, some are running, some are done, and now the sidebar reflects that. Instead of just being a big folder tree, it's still in beta and only on the nightly build for now. So I'd expect some rough edges, but from my testing it already feels solid. I'd say just enable it, and I don't really see a reason to go back. Overall, it's pretty cool. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this video, consider donating through the Super Thanks option or becoming a member by clicking the Join button. Also, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye.